Welcome to another session from LearnReason.com. My name's Matt, and this is part 13 in our Learn How to Mix video series. And today we're going to start on the next part in mixing, on my mix list, and I call this placement. And we're going to be using the panning and the volume and some effects and automation, and we're going to really start placing everything, all the elements of this song, in the stereo image. And one thing I want to talk about here is balance. And what this means is when you have a lot of tracks, you want to have everything spaced out right, left, center evenly. You don't want to have too much on one side or too much on the other side, stacked, in one area. With that being said, there might be times in the song, say I have 20, 30 tracks, and during a song you might get down to 4 or 5 tracks just playing for a duration, in the song. Well, you could have, 3 tracks on the right and 1 track in the middle and 1 on the left. So take this with a grain of salt. You can be as creative as you want, but when you have a ton of tracks going, you want to have good balance. That's basically it. You want to be cognizant of that. So let's start with the drum set today and get it panned up and get some levels in here and get our drum sound. And the first thing off the bat, right here, I need to create a bus for my hi-hats here because I'm going to want to be able to pan them to, one side. And it's much easier just having everything go into a bus. And plus this gives me my stereo width. And I'll explain that a little more about what the stereo width, how it can help you out and what it does. It's actually very easy to understand. We'll call this hi-hat bus. Okay, great. So my hi-hat right away, I'm going to pan it to the left, and there are 2 schools of thought here. When you're panning a drum set, you can either pan it from the drummer's point of view or the listener's point of view. And whatever you like is up to you. There really is no right or wrong. Just pick one the way you want to do it and go for it. But I'm panning it from the drummer's point of view because I've been playing the drums for 30 years. And that's what I choose. Okay, so we have I'm giving it a pan to the left. I'm going to put my my snare a little, just to edge it off to the left a little. So we've got 31 and 25. And my toms, I'm going to take my toms and pan them like they would be like on a drum set, just kind of going around. And let's see, what are we at here? 34. And now if you press the shift key and do this, you can get it helps you get it more specifically, precisely. And what are we over here? Try and keep these the same. There we go. And so our hi-hats, our ride, we'll take and pan that way off to the right over here. And our bus is right up the middle. Our kick is right up the middle. And now what we have here is we have everything panned, the drum set's panned, and for the buses, now we can make this the stereo field wider or narrower. And I'm going to just use the toms to point this out, how the stereo width works. The stereo width, just if I do this stereo channel is now mono. This is literally a stereo width effect. You can think of it that way. And so if we listen to the drums, the toms, listen to them. You see how if you're listening at headphones, you see how it went from the left to the right? Okay, so now if I turn the stereo width off, now listen to it with the width all the way off, and you're listening to a mono signal. You know, there's no movement from right to left. So with this stereo field, we can get it up a little. Now listen to the difference. It's a little more. You're starting to, you can hear it going from left to right. And when you make it, you know, all the way, it gets more width. And it's really easy to hear in headphones. You know, we're only using 3 toms there. If the 4th tom went, you would hear even more. Okay, so we understand what that is. So let's listen to our drums and see how they're spaced out right now. We're just going to solo the drums right now. We're working on the drums. I'm doing this to help you understand what I'm doing. See, the hi-hat's off a little to the left, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow the hi-hat a little. So now it really makes it precisely in the spot. Maybe give it a little width. And I'm gonna crank the snare down a little. See how it's a little more on the left now? I'm going to give it no width right now. I just want to have it just cranked off to the left a little. And the ride is way to the right. And so what we have here is we're spacing out the drum set, and it's sounding okay. So now let's dial in our kick sound. And remember, we have 3 kick tracks here paralleled, and we can you know, get the sound we want with it. This is our low. Crank that up a bit. This is the high. So we'll just, now you can really hear the toms. Hear the width, and then our hi-hats. Okay. I'm just getting a rudimentary level here of the kit by itself. And then what I can do is, in the song, when I get the song playing, then I can use the drum bus to raise or lower the volume, and then I can tweak everything. This is just an initial setting. So let's listen to it in the song. And we're going to have to deal with this intro sample here. I have it right here. So I want to dial in this kick sound. Our hi-hat, our snare. Hear that ride off to the right? Isn't that cool? We're just working on the drums right now. That's it. That's it. Rides a bit high, Get back here. Let's turn this off here. The intro here. I just want to hear those toms coming in and get a level for those. Maybe a little high. That may be a little high. Up a bit there. tight. It kicks a little tighter when it's a little lower. The low's down a little bit. Yeah. It's cutting through nicely. Okay. Okay, now one thing I'm seeing here is I want to have my kick. Let's go here. I want to have my bass, my kick, sidechain with the bass here. And let's set that up real quick so that when the kick is hitting, I want it to compress the bass, all the bass synths all at once. So I'm going to use the bus here, the bass bus. But what I see here is that I'm using the compressor here on my bass bus. No problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to route the bass bus out to a new bus. This is the beauty of this mixer. I'm going to keep it the same color. There we go. And I'm going to call this SC bus. So it's the side chain. It's for my side chain. So, okay, so I made the bus and I'm going to go into the rack. And here's my kick. This is my kick track right here. Kick bus track. So I want to parallel that signal out. I don't want to parallel out, one of these three tracks here. I want to parallel out the bus. You could parallel out anything you want to sidechain with. And here is my sidechain bus. So I'm going to take the parallel out. This is the parallel output, and I'm going to put it into the dynamic sidechain input. And when you're using the sidechain feature, Sidehchain Compression, the whole thing with this is all it is you have to have a source material that operates the dynamic section of the mixer. And that's what we're doing here. And you'll see right here, watch. Right now, the key is on. This means, that means that when this kick goes off, hits, it's going to turn on the compressor here and compress the bass signal. Now watch. We'll turn it on. Listen to the kick. See how it goes? We'll get a little more here. See? Just when the kick. And we'll make it fast because it's a kick. Okay, now listen. I'm going to turn the compressor off and on. I want you to listen to the kick when it hits at the same time as the bass. And it's a subtle difference, but it's there. You can hear it. And it's all these little subtle things that you do through your whole mixing process that add up to the finished product, and it equals a good mix. It's just little things you do on each track. So let's listen to this and hear the difference. Let's go up here. This is our huge our bass here. Maybe we can hear it better here. Okay, I'm turning it off. Turn it on. It's a subtle difference. And the main thing is every time the kick is hit at the same time as the bass synthesizer, you hear the kick. And you can go in here and mess with the compressor, adjust it to get the ratio of compression, the amount of compression you want. And that's totally taste. And that's how you would do it. It's that simple in the mixer. Don't have to do, all we had to do was go right here and go out. I want my kick to compress the bass. That's how sidechaining works. And if I wanted to use the gate, I would just turn on the gate. So we've got our kit panned out. We've got some rudimentary levels here. They're sitting kind of, they're first adjustments. We're going to be tweaking this thing as we go through, but I'm going to go through every section of this mix right now and just get a rudimentary placement of where I want each track to be in the mix. And in the next video, we'll work on the bass and some of these synths here and get those panned out and see how we want the stereo width to be. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. And remember, everything here at LearnReason.com is free. And the only way you can give back is to subscribe and like and share. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. You take care.